don't know if you have put your feelings too far into it.
Well, so yes, that can happen, and if you don't do good self-care, it's kind of weird. I'm over in a second next time. It's weird seeing
I got you all.
Oh
I
wow.
wasn't gonna get none of those.
It's filming the mirrors like the clown house. So I was a social worker. I started out at the homeless shelter. I was at, so I lived in El Salvador, Nicaragua in 1999 and 2000. I got a master's in social work at the University of Kentucky from 2001 to 2004, where I did what they call therapeutic child support, and then homeless advocacy. Anybody else hot, or is it just me?
It's hot in here.
Yeah. We can dry the thermostat. I don't know if it will work though. Let's see here.
I have a question. So if I tell you what it is that my plan is, can you tell me what type of social worker it is that I want to be?
It is possible, and that's the cool part is so this class will investigate all like semester different areas of social work, different spaces. Are all of you guys freshmen?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, cool. Any classes go okay so far?
Yeah, I like my my history class. My African American.
Who teaches that?
It's some Latin man.
Is it? Okay.
I like him.
Let's see if I can get you. So next question is, probably because you guys are freshmen, they did a good orientation. It's the juniors and seniors I'm worried about. Can you get into D2L?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, and that's good because I will put stuff up. Can anybody see the syllabus in there? Because I started out with
I got the notification this morning.
Okay, that may have been like my test channel. I do the YouTube channel live and try to.
But no, it's not in there.
You can't see the syllabus. Which section are you guys? Gosh, they make it really small when you hook up to the computer. You're either 1H or 2H. Intro to social work. That makes sense because you're the first class in the morning. Or does anybody have a class earlier than this? I hope not, because it's hard to. I drive an hour in from Cincinnati, so it's a. So we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves. But how many Cincinnatians do we have in here? Anybody? Anybody? Columbus, Detroit, Chicago. Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, let's introduce. I started doing my intro, but I've done 3 years at Claremont Recovery Center. I was 4 years at Ohio Mentor, 7 years at Lighthouse Youth Services, and I'm currently with hospice. Like on the weekends, I sit with folks. There's a lot of COVID right now. And if you're not healthy, it can take you out. But to be healthy, I'm sure you guys have already heard this. You take vitamins B, C, and D. You need a lot of vitamins. There's three vitamins. Elderberry, colloidal silver, and then there's chaga mushrooms, which they sell at Walmart in the pill form as an antiviral. So I take those every day. I never got COVID. Anybody get COVID in here? That's good. All right. So we don't, if you stay healthy, we should be okay. I don't know why it says mic instructor, but it seems strange. I will put my info in there to send you guys. I'll just email you the syllabus. How about that? If I email it, you should be able to view it within. Let's see here. I would feel like, the class list. Let's try that one. And then we'll have you guys introduce yourselves. Welcome. How are you? So email everybody. Oh, that's weird. Do you at least see your names up here? Oh, you have to click everybody. Okay. We'll email you the syllabus. How about that? Hello, how are you? Sometimes it lets you just attach it. We start out with, I'm going to try to give you guys full access to your book PowerPoints, and that way, I'll scan the first chapter or two, as I know it sometimes can take a minute to get it, but we are still using the same book as last year. The next question would be, oh, there it is, attach. So upload and attach. Anybody know how to turn on the air conditioning so it's higher in here? I want to try back here real fast. That would be nice if we could do it from our phone. I don't think we can. I know, it says that it's this one's broken. Maybe it's the humidity. You think it's 70 degrees in here? That feels too nice to be 70, or too humid to be 70. Oh, that's why it wasn't working. There we go. Look at that. That will be helpful. So anyway, I did my master's of social work at the University of Kentucky, a doctorate in counseling at the University of Cincinnati, and started teaching there in about 2009. Shifted to full-time teacher in 2016, and I've been at Central State for about 7 different semesters at this point. So that's kind of where I stand. Anyone else want to go next for introducing yourself?
I'll go.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kyra. I'm going to be a social worker. I don't have a minor yet. I think I'm going to have a minor in business stuff. But I wanted to become a social worker because I was a mentor first, and my mentee went through some things, and I found out she had to be a social worker. And the social worker didn't do her job, and she had some horrible things happen to her from the age of 1 all the way to 12. She just turned 14 last year. So it didn't happen in a long time. I was like, that's crazy. That would never be something that I want. But so when I asked you that, if I explained to you what it is I want to do, because I which one I want to do.
Yeah. And it can change too, so you got to be aware of that.
But I want to be a social worker. I don't know exactly which one it is that I want to do yet, but I want to branch off to having my own business.
Mhm.
But basically, I have a rehab inside of it because I want to be able to help the parents get their kids back in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to be a social worker for like a good 5-6 years, and then I want to start my business. And it's going to branch off to a rehab, just a foundation where they can learn how to take care of their kids, how to take care of kids, because it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, they just don't know how to raise their kids. They just do it when they parents like them, and they don't get what they're getting. So
Yeah,
that's
so
what I want to do.
that sounds like a good plan. And one piece of info you guys should know, we are fully accredited right now by the CSWE, that's the Council on Social Work Education. And what that looks like is you could finish in 3 years and 7 months and be done with your bachelor's of social work. And that qualifies you for a 1-year master's of social work. Whereas I had to take 2 or 3 years to get mine, like 60 credit hours. If you come from an accredited bachelor's degree, you get to skip out pretty much your first year of graduate school and save like $10,000 or $12,000 and get an MSW from either University of Cincinnati, if you wanted to stay local, Miami Middletown, or even Wright State University. Detroit has several good ones, and we are in the process of reaccreditation. Every 5 years, you have to get reaccredited, and we show off our school and our work as a class. And then after that reaccreditation, here's your syllabus. Hopefully, you guys got an email with it. So anybody interested in the Master of Social Work also, because that would be just adding 1 year onto your 4. I would highly recommend it because just because it gets you more spaces, you can go all over the place with it, and that's some of the stuff that we're going to look into here. Wow, this.
I have one question too.
Yeah.
So say that, say you start working for a company
you can still go back and get your master's while you still working.
Yes, some people have to do that. Like myself, I had to work through my master's degree because I had to pay for all my education. I took out student loans, I paid for stuff, but eventually I got it finished. And
I have a question.
yeah,
So with you being a social worker, I know this is college, are we gonna have to like, intern with someone? Like a social worker?
oh shoot, I wonder if I sent you guys this document instead of the syllabus. I thought this was the syllabus. So this is what we're submitting to be reaccredited. So sorry, go on. What your question was, do you intern under a social worker? Yes. That is part of the program. So in my master's, I had to do, that's why it took me 3 years, 3 internships. Now, the cool part is if you start with a bachelor's, you get your internship out of the way your senior year, your first internship. And so then when you get to your MSW, you only have 2 internships. So that's always part of either counseling when you get your master's in counseling, or social work, your bachelor's and master's in social work. You do an internship at any of the local areas. I did mine at a homeless shelter and with agency called Crony and Clark, and they did therapeutic foster care or therapeutic child support. So if I sent you guys the wrong thing, I apologize. It's actually, that's all the syllabus, so you can see everything that you would have to take. But this is my syllabus. There it is. Did I send you a reaccreditation document or the syllabus? Anybody know? Does it have my name up top, or does it have Dr. Charlotte Allen's up top? Oh, it is the syllabus. Good. It should go to your CSU. It could go into junk. How many are able to open it and see it? Because that's the, okay. I know that we're all, so this is the challenge for like juniors and seniors is we shifted. We used to be at Schoology. Anybody know what Schoology is? Well, yes, we all loved it. I think I even loved it last year, but for some reason they changed it literally like last month. So now we're on D2L or Brightspace. I like to call it Doll Space because I'm annoyed with it right now. It's not a bright space for me, but that's okay. We'll get through it. You didn't get it? Okay. Do you have access to D2L? Okay. Then
I see this, but I don't know.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah. That looks like it. Did that come in? Yes. That is on D2L. That should be under documents. But I emailed it too in case you're having trouble accessing. Oh, anybody ever sweat under these masks? I swear it's like day in and day out. So with hospice, we sit with folks that are usually passing away soon. Anybody ever heard of hospice? And when we had coronavirus real bad last year, we had to wear one of these over top of an N95 mask. Have you seen what those are? With a yellow jacket on, goggles, like a windshield, and I'd come out like covered in sweat like every day. So that was my social work job for the middle of coronavirus when we had a little less going on here. So anyone else want to introduce yourself next before we get into the syllabus? Yeah.
My name is Jose. I go to Minnesota. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm interested in the medical field of social work and possibly like the adoption field.
Medical pays very well.
Yeah. And I worked with Osceola area schools. That's like a school district from where I'm from, and I was able to meet like students who have, dealt with social workers, etc. They just told me a little bit about their background and like how their social workers were, and I just kind of got interested in starting learning.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, welcome. I lived in Minneapolis for it was only about a semester, like 7 months, and it was in 1995, so a long time ago. I know it seems weird. I was born in the 70s. Were any of you guys born in the 90s, or is it everybody born in the 2000s now? All right. That's just like my nieces and nephews and godson and goddaughter. I had my first girl at the age of 42 last year, and then we had a boy this year in May. So our two kids are 10 and a half months apart. So if I ever seem tired and drinking like that much coffee, that's why. That's kind of, you don't really sleep much. The older you get, the less sleep you need. When you're like 70 and 80, and you'll learn this in a psychology class, you only need like 4 hours of sleep a night. When you're like is everybody still here a teenager?
Mhm.
Or are you 20? Anyone 20? You need like 8. Okay. Then in your 20s, you'll need like 7.5, and it goes to like 6 in your 30s, and 5 in your 50s, and 4 in your 70s. I thought you would sleep more the older you get. You know what I mean? Like you get old and tired, but you're not. Your body's not grown anymore, so you need less development and brain development. That's why you sleep less. So here's the contract. If you need me to send it again, let me know. This is our, I don't know why it says spring of 21, but it's the same learning objectives, same major assignments. This is our textbook, and it should be like, did the bookstore help you guys ever get it, or do they have, from what I'm understanding, the president is trying to help everybody get textbooks this year. Are they for real, or are they making stuff up?
I don't know. I don't think they said wrong.
Has anybody gotten the textbook yet? I don't believe it till I got it in hand. Oh, it's digital. Well, okay, that makes sense. So it's a digital textbook. Ah, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I never got the syllabus email,
Okay.
and on your D2, it's not popular.
Okay. If you would like to, this is how I like to make it interactive. Come up here and type your email in. We'll make sure you have it. You don't even have to put your school email in. We'll hit send document. You type it in, hit send. Anybody else that didn't get it, come up and type in your email if you'd like it. And we can continue introducing. I'll send it from my Central State email, actually. Let's see. Central. Not there. Okay. Who else wants to introduce himself? Yes.
My name is Melvin. Everybody call me Melvin. I'm a social work major, but I was getting a minor in psychology.
Okay. That's a good minor.
That's like from Chicago.
Which part of Chicago?
Chicago. I'm from east side of Chicago.
Okay. What high school? That's what I should have added to your all's introductions.
I went through high school. The school I graduated from was CBS High School.
I did that too. I had to go to 3 or 4 high schools.
Yeah, I graduated from CBS High School.
It's not owned by CVS Pharmacy, is it?
No, it
Okay.
stands for Chicago Vocational High School.
Okay.
I wanted to be a social worker because I seen how, like, when I was in my second high school.
Can I send it to a different email?
I lost
Sure.
a lot of people, and they assigned me a social worker, and she used to like talk to me and help me express my feelings more. So she gave me that door to express my feelings. So I want to be that door for other students. So I want to be a high school counselor, and I work at DCFS.
Mm-hmm. Which we call JFS in Cincinnati, so it's probably the same thing. Like Job and Family Services, is that Department of
Child and Family Services.
Child and Family? Okay, I was going to say Courts and Family Services.
No, it's child.
Okay.
So you can work for DCF field. So I seen, like, I really went to school with kids that was a DCFS, that they got beat on in different situations. And seeing them sad and not being put in the right type of home made me want to change the next generations. Coming up.
Social workers are important, and I didn't realize for myself how important. I was a psychology major, and I wish I had majored in social work. A minor in psych would be great, but the reason I wish I majored in social work is because I got a 4-year degree and I couldn't do anything with it. They said, you got to go get your master's. If I had gotten a bachelor's of social work, I could have gotten a license right away and started working and qualified for a 1-year master's program. But because I had a 4-year psych degree, I had to do really 2.5 or 3 years of graduate school, 65 hours instead of 35 hours in grad school, which cost me tens of thousands of extra dollars to finish. So if I was advised properly, I would have had a bachelor's in social work. That's okay. I got my bachelor's in theology and psychology. I did a master's in theology and pastoral counseling, a master's in social work, and then my doctorate's in counseling. So it's those student loans are a real thing, and that's why I wished I had done a little bit quicker.
So if you do a bachelor's in social work, you make money.
You can, is you get licensed. So the key is you're licensed and you can bill Medicare and Medicaid. Before 2011 and the Affordable Care Act, I would have said, social work would be not so great a degree because it was hard to get a job. With the Affordable Care Act, there's jobs everywhere hiring for social work. You'll always have a job. We didn't get in it for the money, which some people, you still can make good money, like as a medical social worker, and that would probably require sometimes a master's, sometimes it doesn't. But BSW allows you to get an LSW is what they call it. Who wants to introduce themselves next?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Which part of Indiana? Okay. Which high school then? And then you all graduate in 2025. Okay, sweet. That's like in 2 years, isn't it? Sweet. Awesome.
Not in 2 years. Not in 2 years.
She's graduating in 2023. Which is good. I also wish I had gotten my associate's degree. I don't know if we still offer associates here, because then you can, 2 years at a community college, really cheap. 2 years at whatever college you choose, not as expensive. Then 1 year for your master's, and you can be done. That's the good part about it. All right, who wants to introduce themselves next? I forgot who said it first.
Oh,
My name is Elijah. I'm from Indiana. You said close to school?
Yeah, which high school?
I went to Pike High School.
Did you guys all shut down for like COVID and had to like do online classes? That's so weird.
mine was fast.
That is so crazy. I couldn't imagine senior year. Like, how do you do prom and stuff? And that,
We had a prom, but I didn't go because they wanted us to pay $50 instead of $80.
are you serious?
Really? 80.
What? So people were making money off this COVID thing, I guess.
We don't have to get up and dance. So I said,
That's crazy.
I didn't go.
Really?
Yeah, they said you pay $50, you have to do. It sucked because everything was closed.
and they're trying to do ours through the computer.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
They were trying to do our prom through the computer.
Oh God, what do you dance with the computer like this? Like,
So my school ain't have a prom, but it was a lot of schools in Chicago, they had proms, like they rent out, like, I know Johnson College prom, and I know a lot of, charter schools, they rent out Soldier Field and had their prom together.
oh, Soldier Field. That's where the Grateful Dead had their last concert.
Yeah, and a lot of our graduations, a lot of our CPS schools had real graduations, we had that football field.
Oh, we call ours CPS too, but it's Cincinnati Public Schools.
Our Chicago.
Okay, all right. I'd imagine Chicago's a little bit bigger, but supposedly we're catching up with you guys in, what's the bad statistics that are up? Maybe it is like jobs and family services and like stuff like that. So why we need more social workers, you know what I mean? To like Not so much. Some people hear social worker and they say you're taking the kids from the family.
I'm helping them.
Right. The opposite is true. We have a ton of social workers that are helping family reunification, and that's what my job was. Who else
How much
wants?
do people who would do that, like, yeah, how much money do they,
Which one though? Because
the ones who take?
like jobs and family services, you don't even need a social work degree to get a JFS job, actually. So yes, and that being said, like maybe if you have a bachelor's degree, you get like 21,000 to 29,000 a year. If you got a bachelor's and a license, maybe 30 to 35,000 a year. When you get your master's, they cut you into like 39 to 45. If you supervise, it's like 46 to 49.
What about the people who give out bridge cards?
Give out what?
Bridge cards.
I don't know what that is.
Bridge cards?
What are bridge cards?
EBT.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I bet you that's not like a very high paying job.
It's not.
Yeah, I don't think you need college. Maybe a GED. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm sure that they have social workers that get you. Which city are you talking from?
I'm from Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, see, every city's different too, so that's the challenge.
You gotta go there and you gotta
hmm
for like something, Section 8. Like my mom, my dad was like, you have to go up there for a meeting every so often. And I'm like, if
Right.
you change anything, you have to tell them right away. So you get, I take them.
Right. It's definitely, let's see if my computer, I have no charger and this computer has to make it through 4 classes. Shit. Well, I'll be okay. Who wants to introduce themselves next? Did you raise your, yeah.
My name's Diamond. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I went to Scott High School. I want to be a high school counselor. Like my counselor, she was so understanding. She made high school so much better for me.
And you can do that with a social work degree. They also have school counseling. So if you choose differently, the problem with school counseling is it takes you 2 years to get your master's in counseling. But if you got a bachelor's of social work, it'll take you 1 year to get a master's of social work. So you can do it with either one. Some people would argue one's better than the other. I just like to give you guys the details. There's all of our assignments. So
School, counseling, and social work is what to be a social worker at, counseling social work is to be a social worker at college, like high schools and stuff.
social workers can do that. And then counselors can also do it. The confusing part is you used to be paid through the school board and everybody ran out of money in like 2009 when we had a recession. So they laid off all of the school people paid through the school board. Now they do like a private contracting agency that come in and pay. So it's shifted to either social workers or counselors. But it used to be you had to have an MA in counseling to do school counseling. Yeah.
So if you get a master's in social work, can you like work for different types of fields, or do you have to be certified in one certain type?
You can work, that's what I love about social work, for any field you want. And you get specialized training. Usually when you get hired there, they give you that specialized training.
Oh,
So when I worked at Claremont Recovery Center, they gave me addictions training. When I worked for Lighthouse, we got a lot of trauma training and like therapeutic child support training and stuff. So they'll train you as needed. What's that? Anybody else? Intros. Yeah.
My name is Mariah. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a psychology major. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do in my major yet, but
You're halfway finished. That's cool. That's what I was in undergrad. I got a psych major. And I had no idea. I think I wanted to do something in the helping profession, but I didn't know what or how. And I wish somebody had told me to double up with social work and not theology. I double majored in theology psychology. If I had done social work and psychology, I would have had a license fast. Anyway, anyone else want to introduce self? Really just like city, high school, where you're from, why you came here, what you want to do with social work, all that stuff.
My name is Samia. I'm from Chicago. I went to like 4 high schools, but
That's kind of what I did, and homeschool too.
I'm here because I just want to like be a social worker for like kids who their parents not in their life and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Yeah.
I heard, because my family actually has a social worker that comes to our house often, because my brother's
Hmm.
but I heard that like they don't get a lot of support because the people who actually control that don't really care for the children. So it's really like, it's something that you have to tackle about, because you have to do it yourself.
I would agree with that, and
Yeah.
it'll depend on the city, the county, and the judges and who funds it. Because you could have an awesome person who funds everything and wants family reunification. Because usually when the kids are taken, there could be a challenge in the family, but you could fix it in a few months. You get counseling, you fix it, family's good to go. Maybe there's even a layoff and you can't get support services needed fast enough and there's not food in the house. So they freak out and take them. And it's for the child's protection. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure we're safe, fed, all of those things. And ideally with social workers, they fix any situation they think is a challenge, and then there's family reunification. So it really does depend on, the judge and the court system you're in and whatnot. So I don't know if I answered your question though, if you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else who hasn't gone? Because I wasn't going in order. So if you are an introvert and you're trying to skip introducing yourself, you could get away with it. Problem with D2L and turning in all these assignments online is that it does keep track of it. So that is why I use D2L. That's the main reason I use the electronic things. Because sometimes you get an email. Do you guys ever get an email and you're like, how many emails do you have in your inbox? Look, I got 21 since we've been in this class, because most of it's junk. So I just kind of like try not to get overwhelmed by emails, but it says I have 287,000 emails in there. That's why I don't like emails. It's just not a good collection area. Whereas D2L, like I have you guys, you have your list of assignments here. We'll have some discussion boards. And it'll say you turned in your values assignment. The first paper's more up here. So we start out easy for you. They're like 2-page papers. Gets a little longer to 3- and 4-page papers with this values assignment and global social work. And I try to spread them out every 10 to 15 days. So you have like time to think about it. You should have Word from D2L and whatnot. Like you guys should all be able to like download Microsoft somewhere. That should be free too. I know if they say the book is free, it'll probably be digital. I don't know if you get free printing, if you prefer it printed. But here's all of your assignments. The longest papers get towards the end where it's like 4- and 5-page paper. And then that's kind of your breakdown of like what we're doing. And we cover each week about 1.5 to 2 chapters. And it's a 15-week semester. So like it goes faster than you would think, as we have Thanksgiving, we have, sometimes there's a fall break. Do they give you fall break this year? Anybody? They skipped it because of COVID. They're like, if you go home and everybody brings home like coronavirus, we're all going to die at school together in the same room or something like that. But that never happened. But I think, we want to be cautious. Anybody have family members affected by COVID? Was it like grandma, grandpa, or just?
My dad, but he was in Miami, I was in Chicago, so I wasn't in care, but I go off to say.
I
And
mean, like my mom, she's like a diabetic, so
my mom got it.
yeah. So like when she got it, it was like really
Scary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those with pre-existing health conditions, and then your grandma or
No, it was one of my friend, her and her mom got it at the same time, and her mom got sick taking care of her. They didn't know she had COVID at the time, and her mom ended up dying from it.
oh, that is so. It is kind of crazy. I know we're about all 50-50 on the vaccine, so I don't push any opinion on it. I definitely would push vitamins and stay healthy. Stay hydrated. Do you guys know how to get vitamin D? Have you heard of that before? It's one of the
I heard it.
easiest and hardest vitamins to get because you could take it in pill form, but we usually get it from the sun. So the problem being the longer throughout the summer and the darker we get, the less vitamin D our skin absorbs. So it's better to take the pills because you've got it for sure. But in the past, like in 1919 during the flu pandemic, they would just lay the patients out in the sun. They like wheel the beds out and like sit them in the sun. And that was the healing piece. Vitamin C is antiviral. Anybody here ever take vitamin C? You can buy it cheap. Or you can drink it in your orange juice and eat it in your fruits and vegetables. Vitamin B is usually in cheeses and meats. I'm a vegetarian, so I only eat like cheese and eggs. So eat enough vegetables, drink enough water, and stay hydrated. That's going to be key. And then we have seasonal allergies, so sometimes we confuse that as like the flu, and that sucks. But so I'll try to keep up with little tidbits. I think we did skip out on fall break, which stinks. So this is a hybrid course, and I do offer it again at about, I feel like it's 1:00. And it should be on the same schedule as you guys. So if you have that time open, you are more than welcome to come then. So I have it. Shoot, where is that? Anybody else have a hard time keeping track of all of this stuff that we log into? Yes.
Am I able to send that syllabus to myself?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I teach this exact same class at 1:00. So if you missed it and you wanted to come to this one, actually it's in the same room. So I guess if we all did it at once, it would be like a full house because it looks like we don't have half the seats, but I teach the same class twice.
Okay. Did you teach?
Tuesday and Thursday. So I am filming it, so I'm going to try to put up a link just in case they throw us into a lockdown. If you guys were to guess if they're going to lock us down, what would you think?
No, I gotta work.
I heard it before.
You say, nope, they're not going to do it no matter what. Hello, how are you? Welcome. We're just doing introductions and whatnot, so you are more than welcome to introduce yourself. We're doing high school, like.
No.
You skipped it?
I'm 29.
Yeah,
I'm a returning student. I came
That's okay. That's
long
okay.
time ago, and I'm just now coming back. Since COVID has started, I was like, well, I'm gonna just go back.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, what city are you from?
I'm
That could.
from Dayton.
Okay. And then, did you grow up there?
I grew up in Kettering.
Okay.
I graduated from Fairmont High School. Are you familiar with that area?
I am slightly familiar with it because I'm Cincinnatian. I've done social work all up and down the I-75 and then 32. Is it raining out there? It looks like it's raining. Okay. Well, cool. And then did you do, how many credits do you think you need to graduate with 121?
I only need 15 more credit hours.
Social work major?
Psychology.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm Dr. Trouth. I did my social work 22 years ago at the University of Kentucky. I've practiced at like Claremont Recovery Center, Ohio Mentor, and then Lighthouse Youth Services. I did my doctorate in counseling. That was at UC. I've been teaching like about 10 and then 5 or 6 years full time now. So sign. See, just in time for a signing sheet, even though it's janky. It'll work. So and I also teach this class at 11. I was just showing you guys. So exact same class, exact same room, just from 1 to 2:15. It is hybridized. So I do film it. Like right now, we are live on YouTube, and there we are. So it doesn't look as good though. It's almost like a clown house, isn't it? Like that mirror. Can you get it to go all the way? How far can you get it to go? That's weird. So I'm filming it. The syllabus should be emailed to you guys because we're kind of summing up. This is with the hybrid, we can finish a little bit early, and there's some online content with discussion boards and then your papers and whatnot. So here's the syllabus that was emailed to you guys, and you can access on D2L. All of the assignments will be on D2L. The first paper is right here. So I'll just go over that because usually we do that in the first 2 weeks. And this is some of the questions that you guys were already asking me, which was good. So what you need to know about being a social worker, like what kind of social worker can I be? This is only a 2-page paper. So if you started on it and it's due in 2 weeks, you can literally write like a paragraph each day and be done. But go into a search engine. I know it says Google, but I would say a search engine, even if you guys use something else, like Yahoo is fine, Google, Bing, what are the other ones? So search these titles. Want a social work career ? I was a psych major, so when I did my 4-year psych degree, I kind of wanted to do social work, but I didn't know how much more beneficial it would have been to add the social work major. Also, just Google or search this. What you need to know, what is social work, what being a social worker means. And then after reading those, you guys write a 2-page essay on how social work practice aligns with your personal career goals. So if you are doing social work, if you are doing psychology, if you are doing education, how does it align with your career goals? How will you meet with social workers and work with social workers and know how they can help you? And then we usually do APA. Have any of you ever been trained on APA? Because it's okay if you have not. It's what most people use nowadays. The American Psychological Association, they use to publish papers. So here's how I look up articles myself. You go to Scholar. It still wants me to go to Schoology. Did any of you here take Schoology classes from Central State University? So the transition's hard. It's really hard.
Very hard.
It's hard for me.
Because I even took summer classes, so they started it
Yes.
in the summer, so I was so confused, like, what is going on?
It was a terrible shift, and I've done this now 5 times because I had Blackboard, Canvas, Schoology, this, yes. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Where is it? It's usually on the other side of the building. Like if you could walk through the center wall, it's over. All the plumbing's on that side. Right. So if you did want to look up articles, this is where I would recommend doing it because you can learn how to do APA this way. Like if you find published articles, you can click on them here. This is a social work article I wrote a few years ago. And it's about Lighthouse Community School in Cincinnati, Ohio. And if you quoted it, you click on the quotation marks right there. And all you have to do is copy and paste. So when you cite something, that's very, very easy. the key is making sure to cite it. You know what I mean? Don't like take an article and copy what the article says and put it in your paper without giving credit to somebody. So the idea is you guys read some articles about social work, get your own thoughts and ideas. Like, here's what I want to do. I want to be a school social worker. I want to be a job and family social service social worker, medical social work, or I want to work in the psych field and get my master's, however it works. Any questions about the entire syllabus at this point? I'll have a place you can turn this in on D2L here in a minute. So I'll just put it up in assignments, and then that way you guys should be able to see where to turn in your paper.
So do you recommend us to come to the class, or will it be okay for us to do your look at the online?
If, you know, the only experience I have with that is me. So when I did online classes, I failed miserably and I got a 0.59 GPA.
Did you?
Yes.
See, I had a 3.6.
Okay. All right. So if you are a good self-motivated person and can follow along and turn all your assignments on time and like discussion boards, it is a hybrid class. So it is being filmed. The film might be a little janky because look at that. It doesn't really now the screen's in view, but I don't, it's not, I probably deliver better in person but it's, it's a tough one though, because things happen, life happens, COVID might happen again. It might not, they might say our economy can't be locked down, but I definitely, when I was a psych major, I think my sophomore year, I had a 0.59. This was 1997. They made us do an assignment. We had to send an email to the teacher. I was like, what's this email crap? There's no way we're going to do this email crap. This is stupid. And I hated it. And I hated, everything. And I wasn't really self-motivated. So when I went in person, I was able to absorb everything, kind of answer questions in live time, and follow the instructions better. So it depends on the type of learner you are, really. The challenging thing is we're not fully accredited for a social work degree to be online, so that's why I have to offer a hybrid too. You will have a presentation, so I would recommend that in person. Last year we had to do them online because there was no choice. So we had everybody basically film it like this. We had them do a YouTube live, and that was your presentation. So I know I'm not answering the question for you, that's purposeful, but if you're really good, we have, there's a paper about every 10 to 15 days, and like I'll keep a discussion board about every 10 to 15 days to keep it hybrid, and then a final presentation. So that's kind of the gist of it. Have you ever taken Intro to Social Work? Where were your other credits from?
But I basically took in everything. The only thing, this class is like an extra class for me.
Did you do everything at Central?
Mm-hmm.
So you started at a different age, or you started and came back and then?
I started when I graduated high school,
Mm-hmm.
and then I completely stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just now coming back last year.
Any advice for students that are 18 and starting right now?
To just complete it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't play. Because when I was here, when I first came, I was 18, and there was so much to do. I don't know how it is on campus now, but I know
there's still stuff to do. But you're right. Yeah, there's always a distraction. Always somebody having a party. Always somebody drinking or smoking.
When I first started, I started out really good, but then the next semester it was shaky.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
Next, I was like, I'm just.
I didn't get serious as a student until I was about 28 or 27.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm 29, so like now that I'm at that age and I know exactly like what I want to do, like I have to do this. I'm just like so focused, like I have to get this done. But I think about it like, darn, I wish I would have did this. I would have did it.
Right. So that's one thing we said at the beginning of class. The cool part is that our school is fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. If you do add a second major social work degree or you're a social work major, it qualifies you for a 1-year master's of social work to get your license and practice. And I wish somebody had told me that when I got my psychology degree, because I did 4 years as a psych major. I doubled up as a theology major, and I wish I'd doubled up as a social work major.
So what do you think is the difference between social work and psychology? Do you think it runs hand in hand, or was?
They're very similar, but you can't get a license in psych until you get your doctorate almost. Whereas you can get a bachelor's of social work and be licensed, right? Like your senior year, you can get your license in January. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes. And then you qualify for a 1-year master's and be done 1 year. You do half of your graduate school, your senior year of social work, just because we need social workers. So you can always get your doctorate still, that's what I did. I ended up going back for my doctorate in counseling. So I wish somebody had told me that. Thank you.
So you can't tell me how you got your doctorate?
I don't think you can get a license in psychology without your master's or doctorate. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how it always has kind of been. You get a PsyD or a PhD or, something.
So what can you do with 4 years?
With psych,
Yeah.
what did I do? I worked at a special needs camp and made $24,000 a year.
You worked in a what?
Special needs camp.
Oh.
Like folks who had, I don't know the proper term now, MR diagnosis, mental retardation, IQ lower than 70, autism sometimes, or cerebral palsy, or so it was and that was right out of school in the summertime. And then I worked at Ray Street Tenant Organization Cooperative, which was rehabbing affordable low-income housing for folks in Cincinnati. And that's when I'm I need a master's in social work, and I started this. So you can still do things. Some people become probation officers, which is interesting. I never made sense of that. Some people become CPS workers, Child Protective Services, where you call 241 kids for challenges. I don't know. Anyone else a psych major, know what you want to do or what you can do with it?
So I have a question. Okay, I am a psych major in the end. I plan on when I'm done, I said I do want to work at a juvenile facility just to be practicing, but I want something of my own, not like a group home, something I say kind of like a recreation center where they can come and talk to me and I can motivate them and all that stuff like that. So what would you think I would do? Continue on with or do I need to switch over to social work?
The cool part about a license in social work is that you can bill Medicare and Medicaid with your license. So right when you get your bachelor. So even if that means add in a double major, which is what I did, it does extend out. You finish in a little longer, but I probably took 5.5 years to finish college. But you get a license. You could do that in psychology, but I really don't know if you can get a license until you get at least a master's and probably a doctorate in psychology. So I don't know who your funding source would be, unless if you know a bunch of rich donors and friends.
And also I was looking up this it's a program at Wright State, a 2-year program for psychology. I was trying to figure out what could I do with that if I'm done here and I go over and do the program for 2 years.
I always wondered that, and that's when I decided on a master's in social work. It's the same number of hours. It's 65 hours, and I was done.
I wonder, should I add on social work?
It would cut out half of your graduate school and save you about $10,000 or $12,000. You still can finish with your psych degree.
Mm-hmm.
So you certainly will use it. We use psychology, but social work training, that's cool about this first paper because it makes you investigate the field of social work and then our code of ethics, and then where you can work is the global social work paper if you want to work internationally or locally as a social worker. So this class does make you write about it and figure it out. So Hopefully it'll answer y'all's questions. Yeah.
So like, I want to do CPS,
Uh-huh.
but I don't want to do it, but I don't know enough about it. Like, I kind of know generally what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Try to like keep my child safe and if need to do foster care, but I don't want to put them in foster care. I heard bad things about foster care. Because one of my friends, she was in it and she told me like her foster dad would hit her and her mom would just sit there and watch.
Oh,
They
geez.
wouldn't do anything. I was like, okay, that's pretty bad. And she came to school with a black eye, but she said her worker wasn't doing anything about it, and she told her, but she didn't do nothing. So I kind of want to do something about it, like be a better person.
Mhm.
There's a lot that don't do nothing,
Right.
but I want to like further, like I want to further it, but I just don't know like what I'm actually going to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, is that what that one thing is? I mean, the first one.
Oh, the jobs and family services. You could investigate. That is one thing that someone would do with their social work degree is working for JFS. So that's the social work as a career. You could specifically get into like do that search and find an article about like what do jobs and family services social workers do. Because it's only 2 pages. I mean, you can go longer if you guys want, but I'm sure you'll find a lot of info for that too. If that answers your question. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so in these tools, right?
Uh-huh.
You didn't post anything like in the assignments or like.
Correct.
Okay,
I have not. I usually do them as they're due,
okay,
and I try to do that on purpose so it's not like too much crap at once that you guys get confused. So like as the assignments are due, I'll put up like turn in this here.
okay. And then also you want this first assignment typed up in Word, Microsoft Word?
That makes it easier because you can like upload it to D2L that way.
Okay,
Yeah. They may give you a space to like write it in there, but I don't know if the editing would be easy in there. Like it won't give you spell check probably, unless if you use Grammarly. Anybody use Grammarly? That helps. It'll give you a spell check.
well, you gonna put the assignment in there when you do it, or?
This one. So it is due in 2 weeks. Yeah, I can put it up in there.
And also, you were showing the APA format,
Yes.
and you went on Google Scholar.
Yes.
Can you do that one more time?
Sure. It's at scholar.google.com. It's probably right here. So I usually go into scholar.google.com and you can search, these key terms. Well, now it's gone. But like, want to be a social worker, what do social workers do? What do jobs and family services social workers do? And finding articles like that. It always recommends articles for me. I've written a couple on like Lighthouse Youth Services and like horticulture therapy. And a lot of my work is now with, my dissertation was on refugees from Burundi, Africa, and a resettlement process we did with them. And if you want to quote those articles, you usually just have to click on it. When you search, it'll probably pull up a search that looks like this. And then here's how you cite it. So at the end of your paper, you'll have, it won't say, I forget what in high school you guys use, like works cited or, so in APA, they call it references. And then you'll put this at the end, like in alphabetical order. So whoever wrote those articles. And then, yeah, you just copy and paste. And that way it just shows which articles you used in your paper and then cites them properly. So D2L. Nope. That's the clown house. I still don't know why that's weird to me, but it like goes all the way. Does it ever stop? I don't know. All right. So if we were in D2L and you guys go through the home page, does anyone have trouble accessing D2L? That's good. I wondered how our transition was going to be. You guys are 1H, and then usually it's not in content. This is where I also get confused. I feel like it is. Maybe it is in content. Oh, it is. So you go to course activities and then assignments. And I purposefully only add this stuff in, as we talk about it. So it's not too much stuff at once. You ever open up a digital learning site and you're like, whoa. Right. So I like to just start with the syllabus. So that's your main document. It gives you the assignments. You know how to do, I think the first one's called Social Work as a Career Paper, if I can spell it. You have your due date, as you guys were asking that. Is there 31 days in August? I thought it was 30 days in August.
It's 31?
Yeah. I didn't know that. It looks like they always make them due at like midnight. That's like the default. And then there's the instructions essentially. So that way you have something to, you can upload Word into there. So you got your first assignment. I'll try to get a discussion board in between now and then also, just to kind of get to know one another. And how many, do you guys all take 15 hours too? Is that like 5 classes, or is that 6 classes, or is that still? So one of them's like a lab or 4 credit hours or something.
Yeah, one of my classes.
Oh, okay. I would say that is all that I have, since we are hybrid, and I'll be putting up stuff online just piece by piece. So if you do get behind on it, it could become overwhelming, but as long as you check in and look at it, I'll put up a PowerPoint so that way you have everything that was written up in the book.
Wait, what's happening?
Hybrid is like, there's some online content. So a hybrid is like a hybrid car, you got gas and electric in it. A hybrid class, you got online and in person.
Oh, I see, I know.
It's hybridized.
That's how high school was.
Like, oh, it was? Really? How do they do that?
For Mondays and Tuesdays, it'll be, juniors and seniors.
That's because of COVID, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Wednesday, it was nobody that had come to the building. Thursday and Friday, they.
That's so crazy. Yeah, that's so crazy. I could not have understood high school that way. Like, high school was, yeah.
Mine was like that without COVID.
Was it? That is, I don't know if that's because they're having a shortage of teachers and social workers and like, but high school used to be because like our parents didn't know what the hell to do with us during the day. So from 9 to 5, we went to high school. You know what I mean? Like, and then grade school, like your parents don't know what to do with you from 9 to 5. So you go to grade school, but I don't know. It's probably changed. So any other questions? Oh, that's not visible to you guys. I hate that. Here we go. We'll make it visible. So you probably can't see this yet. Does it say make visible to users? There it is. All right, now you should be able to see it. Cool. August 31st. Our first day of lockdown, right? I'm just kidding. I know. Our economy can't handle it, like for real. I know that we want everyone to be safe, but
I cannot.
right, that's the other thing. So like mental health has increased in challenges since we've had these lockdowns. Speaking as a social worker, depression has increased. Several different challenges have come up, and even as an adult, you don't have to be a student. Like if kids are home all day, do you have any kids? Or are you kid free? That's okay. That's a dog mom then. But they're a lot of freaking work, aren't they?
Yeah.
You wish you could send them to like a doggy school or daycare that's because I have a cat and they're just as bad and they're supposed to take care of themselves. For real, you have to dump out the litter box, but so that's where we are. Hopefully we are not locked down. I do film it just in case anyway. You can if you get the links of where I put up the videos, ask a question in the comments. That way, that's kind of like attendance there online. But I'll also do these, and they make us do like 3 or 4 midterm grades. That's why we have to have assignments first 2 weeks, first 4 weeks. Like they hammer us for attendance and grades because they're going to take your student loan. Yeah.
And do you have like office hours or like?
I do. I usually put them on Tuesday and Thursday between these classes because that's when I'm here. Here's my, well, where is that? Do we have it on another detailed? Nope, not that one. Let's say it's Tuesday and Thursday in between my, is it? Which I showed you guys. Okay, this. So, which today I have a meeting online here at 11, but it's probably like, after this class until almost 1, then I have maybe a half an hour there. And then on Thursdays, I got it's mostly Thursdays are my best there. So, and then online, so you can just email me and I'll check in. Email and online meetings have kind of made that check-in easier. So cool. That's all I have. I should make sure to stop this so whoever is watching